One wedding invitation, delivered to the wrong address, burned an entire city to the ground. This is the true story of how Jerusalem fell, and it starts with a party. 2,000 years ago, Jerusalem was rich, crowded, and dazzling. Gold flowed through its markets. Pilgrims filled its streets. The temple crowned the mountain. And in this city lived a wealthy man who loved to throw legendary feasts. He had a best friend named Kamtza, and an enemy he despised, a man called Bar Kamtza. Almost the same name, remember that. The names are the whole story. One day, the rich man planned the feast of the year. Everyone would be there. He told his servant, "Go, bring my friend Kamtza." The servant went out into the crowded streets, but he knocked on the wrong door. Bar Kamtza opened it. The enemy heard, "You're invited to the feast." His heart jumped. He thought, after all these years, he wants to make peace. So he dressed in his finest robe and walked into the great hall. The feast glittered. Music played. The most important rabbis of Jerusalem sat at the tables. And then the host saw him. "What is he doing here?" He marched across the hall. The room went silent. "You, out, now." Bar Kamtza whispered, "Please, don't shame me. I'll pay for whatever I eat." "No." "Then let me pay for half your feast." "No." "I'll pay for the entire feast, everything, just let me stay." The host grabbed him by the arm and threw him into the street, in front of everyone. And here's the detail the Talmud never forgives. The rabbis were there, the leaders, the sages. They saw everything, and not one of them said a word. Bar Kamtza sat in the dust and made a decision. "They shamed me, and their sages approved. I'll take them all down." Bar Kamtza traveled to Rome, to the emperor himself. "Caesar, the Jews are rebelling against you." The emperor frowned. "Prove it. Send them an offering for their temple. See if they'll accept it." The emperor sent a fine calf, a royal gift for the altar. But on the road, Bar Kamtza did something small and terrible. He made a tiny cut on its lip, a blemish invisible to Rome, but enough to make it forbidden on the Jewish altar. The calf arrived in Jerusalem. The rabbis gathered and froze. Offer a blemished animal? Forbidden. Refuse Caesar's gift? Rebellion. Some said, "Offer it anyway, lives are at stake." But Rabbi Zakkai ben Avkulas said no, people might learn the law wrong. "Then kill Bar Kamtza," others whispered, "before he reports back." Zakkai said no again, and so they did nothing. The calf went back, and Rome heard one word: rebellion. The emperor sent his greatest general, Nero. At the gates of Jerusalem, Nero stopped. Something felt wrong. He shot an arrow east. It swerved toward Jerusalem. West, north, south, every arrow turned toward the city. Nero trembled. Their God wants this city destroyed, and he wants me to do it. And then he'll punish the one who did it. So the great general dropped his sword and ran. The Talmud says he converted, and from his descendants came the great Rabbi Meir. Rome sent another general, Vespasian. He didn't shoot arrows. He surrounded Jerusalem and waited. Inside the city, 3 wealthy men opened their storehouses, enough wheat, wine, and firewood to survive 21 years. Jerusalem could have simply waited Rome out. But inside the walls, hotheads wanted war now. The zealots made a decision that still hurts to say out loud. They burned the storehouses, all of them. 21 years of food gone in one night. And the famine began. The city that could have outlasted an empire began to starve.
Inside the dying city lived its greatest sage, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. He understood what the zealots refused to see. Jerusalem was lost. But if the city must fall, maybe Torah could still be saved. One problem: the zealots guarded the gates. Nobody was allowed to leave. Leaving meant surrender, and surrender meant death. The only ones allowed out were the dead. So Rabbi Yochanan made the strangest plan in Jewish history. He faked his own death. His students carried the coffin through the weeping streets. At the gate, a zealot raised his spear. "Let me stab it, just to check." His nephew, the zealot chief, stopped him. "Would you stab our teacher?" The gates opened. Outside the walls, the coffin lid creaked open, and the old sage walked straight into the Roman war camp, straight to Vespasian's tent. "Peace be upon you, O king." Vespasian growled, "I am no king, and for that mistake you deserve death." At that exact moment, a messenger burst in. "The emperor is dead! Rome has chosen you as Caesar!" The sage had seen it before it happened. The new emperor said, "Ask me anything, one wish, before I take my throne." He could have asked to save Jerusalem. Historians still argue about this, but he believed Jerusalem was already beyond saving. So he asked for something small, strange, almost nothing. "Give me Yavneh, a tiny town, and its scholars." A school. That's all he asked for. A school. Jerusalem fell. The temple burned. It was the darkest day in Jewish history. But in that little school in Yavneh, Torah survived and rebuilt everything. The Talmud's verdict: Jerusalem was destroyed over an invitation, over one man shamed in public while everyone stayed silent. Watch how you treat one single person. Cities stand on it.